I'm going to go through changing a rear wheel bearing on a 2001 Polaris Sportsman 400. Some of the tools you're going to need, ideally a press or one of these wheel bearing removal toolkits. It has a variety of different size plates and collars and stuff. I already have the one set out that I need because I already did the other side. Big ass crescent wrench helps, 9/16 wrench, 9/16 ratchet and socket, some snap ring pliers, needle nose, flat blade. This is an 1 1/8 socket for the center nut. It's not exactly the right size, but that's the closest thing I have that fits. And maybe a hammer, maybe an impact gun, of course a new wheel bearing, and a bungee cord. Okay, I'm going to zip off the wheel. These are 9/16 nuts. These studs are extremely small and I've broken them before, so you got to be careful with them. Pop off your wheel. You have the center cap to get rid of. Stick a flat blade in there and pry around the edges. Pretty self-explanatory. And here you got your castle nut. Pop out your cotter pin. Now that the cotter pin's out, we're going to zip off the center nut. There's a washer or two. The other side didn't have two, but it was a thicker one. It's kind of the things you run into when you deal with old 20-year-old machinery. So here's your hub assembly. And up here, you can see it's nice and clean. I'm being sarcastic. You got 9/16 through bolt here. It goes all the way through. Just get on there. It's a fine thread. That's stuck in there for life. So just be careful not to damage this bolt. It's probably a more difficult one to find. And then your knuckle comes down and away like that. Most of the time you can just push the axle through. Sometimes you can't though, and it's kind of difficult. So you just pull on the axle, kind of compress it, push down. There. We got that out of the way. Then disconnect the sway bar link up top here. Sometimes it spins. Your crescent wrench, you don't need this huge of one for this. That's what I have. So get that off. Now we're going to try to drive this bearing out of here. Before you do that, you got to clean out all the crap. There's usually a lot of crap because you're dealing with an ATV. Try to get most of that garbage out of there. Grab your snap ring pliers. This is kind of a big snap ring, so be careful. Hopefully it'll come out right away without flinging in my eyeball. Snap ring out. Okay, now I have my little bearing puller set up. Take the collar, one that'll fit on there nice, and this plate. feed it through. This one I have a small, it has to be small enough to fit on the bearing and not hit anywhere on the housing. It's kind of a tricky one here because there's not much room. I don't know if you can see that, but there's not much room. So you're going to need a small one. So you thread this on. Just get it snug by hand, and then make sure that this has a good footprint on there. It's not off to one side or anything's crooked. This looks really good. Get your big ass crescent wrench or an actual wrench. That would probably be the right way to do it. And then we're going to want to go tight on this. I gotta turn this up. Go a little bit, stop, make sure you're not wrecking anything. It looks like it's going in there nice. Just driving out the bearing. Just about out. We lost the crescent wrench. Okay. And that's it. Okay, let's take a look at this bearing we just removed. And there it is. This one actually isn't that bad. Well, it's got a little bit of slop, but the one on the other side was really bad. So I figured I'm going to replace it in pairs. So I went in here and cleaned it out, blew it out with some compressed air. I like to just put a light coating of whatever lube of your choice, WD-40, PB Blaster, whatever, doesn't matter. We're going to be ready to put in the new bearing. This one doesn't have a right or wrong side. They're both the same. So just start it, tap it in a little. That's good. And then you're going to want to find one of the inserts in your kit that's really close to the outer diameter of the wheel bearing. I'll show you on the old one. So you wanna press on there, but you want it to be slightly smaller, otherwise this will get stuck or it'll prevent you from getting it pressed in there. If you don't have this kit or you're using a press or whatever other means, some people use a hammer, which I don't recommend. You could take your old bearing and just grind around it so it's slightly smaller diameter and use this to press in your new one. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go with this size is perfect for this. And then you flip her over, put the collar. It's kind of tapered in here and the collar is going to want to wedge slightly. Actually, no, I lied. We don't use the collar on this one. There. You don't want to use the collar. Don't listen to me. This is still going to kind of want to wedge in there. But we'll be able to pop it out once we get the bearing in. Get that started. Make sure that you're centered. Same story except reverse. Now we got the big crescent wrench. And then we're going to want to go tight. You can see how that's drawing that in. You can do this by hand. Probably recommended to do it by hand. But you just keep going. And we're getting a little crooked here, so pop this off and give my little, there we go, a little taparoonie. And keep driving until it stops. Back out your wheel and then make sure that your snap ring will fit. Make sure that that's flush. And like I said, that this thing's kind of stuck in there. A lot of times I just take my ratchet, whack that right out of there. So flip it over, make sure that it's seated in there good, which it is, nice and flush. Once your bearing's seated, it's time to put in the snap ring. Sometimes this is one of the more difficult parts of the job, because it's kind of a tough one. I have to squeeze a little for my pliers to grip it. There you go. Just be careful. Make sure it's fully seated in the notch, which it is. And that's that for that. Now you're ready to pop the axle back in. So we can take off our little patented bungee. Our little eye ripper outer bungee. And you just manipulate this axle back in there. Sometimes you just gotta go back and forth, press it, angle it in. Finally got the axle poked through here. Here's a not pro tip, but this grease zerk is kind of difficult to get to when everything's back together. So this is a good time to grease it. I know the bolt's not in, so it's going to push these bushings out a little. But that's fine. It's just easier to do it now. And you just put in your upper arm, weasel the axle back and forth a little. Just tap that till it goes in place. Make sure this isn't binding, it's in there nice. And I'm going to drive it in by hand. Tighten it hand tight, and then we will torque it. Okay, got that upper control arm bolt hand tight. I'm going to go ahead and torque it to 35 foot-pounds. Then reattach and tighten your sway bar link. Ready to put the hub back on. Probably isn't necessary, but I like to just put a little bit of never seize on the splines. Especially if you're changing the axle, the splines that go into the transmission, it's a really good idea to some kind of anti-seize compound on there. This hub slides in there. The axle isn't all the way through yet, but the nut will pull it in. So we have these two washers in this case. Again, the other side only had one. It was a thicker one. I'm just going to put it on the lightest setting. Drive it in. Okay, now we're going to torque the center nut. I set the parking brake. The torque spec I found was 100 foot-pounds on the center nut. And right now, it's not exactly lining up with the hole, the castle nut. So I'll just back it off slightly, because I don't want to go another full turn, or not full turn, but enough to get to the next spot. I'm going to back it off just slightly, and that's perfect. Put in your cotter pin. Put it through, bend it, all that good stuff. You can pop on your little rubber center cap. Just kind of work it around there. Give it a twist. Pop on. Now I'm going to put the tire on. Hold it on there. Start all your lug nuts by hand. These are fine thread. These studs are tiny, and they do like to break. So be careful. I'm going to drive them in as slow as possible. Just like that, get them snug. Okay, now the torque spec on these is 20 foot-pounds, according to the owner's manual. That's, to me, that seems a little light, but you don't want to go crazy because these do snap off. So I do 35 foot-pounds, because that's what the upper control arm bolt was. That's what I would have this set at last. So I'm comfortable with 35 foot-pounds. It's up to you. 20 just seems really light for a wheel, but I wouldn't go over 40. These things will snap right off. And that's it. That's rear wheel bearing on these older Polaris Sportsmans. I don't know, I haven't had experience with newer ones, but these all seem to be similar of this era. It's a pretty easy job. You don't really need anything special. If you have a press, you can do this. Some people use a hammer and big sockets to knock that bearing out, but I don't like that. Those wheel bearing removal tools like I have are only like $50 on Amazon, and they're really useful. So hopefully this helps somebody out. Have a nice greasy day.